I think about one person. So here we go. You know, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of signal in the enterprise AI space. And we've been talking a lot about like, how do you make it real and distinguish and differentiate if you're not some nerd like myself that reads white papers on the weekend? And so what we're going to talk about right now in a short period of time is what would a full day hackathon meets working session look like with business stakeholders that are totally non-technical. Maybe you bring in a couple of data scientists and some engineers to be able to interrogate data sets and so on and so forth. But Steve, in particular, I know with your background that you've structured these kind of, design thinking workshops, and we've hacked up products in a super rapid fire iterative way. And Tati, with your expertise from a business perspective, I think we've got the right minds in the room to say, if we had I always say this, but a gun to the head, what would you actually do to help an organization get off of first base and get to second base by defining a problem that's high impact, low lift before a working session / hackathon, doing a full day working session or series of working sessions and hackathons to actually build something that demonstrates the power of enterprise AI in a way that's a bit shock and awe, because you introduce the Lovable, the Replit, the LangChain, and so on and so forth, and solve a very tangible, meaningful problem so that people can now understand, oh my gosh, that all happened effectively in a 24-hour period. So, Steve, all the pressure in the world, you could pass it back to Tati or to me. If you had to kind of frame that up, how would you think about it if a retail client wanted to do something of this nature and move that fast? How would you think about it, and what might it look like, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, well, you nailed it with saying design thinking. I love design thinking, certainly rooted in the philosophy of IDEO from their work way back with Apple, and then the growth of IDEO over the years, and then of course IBM picked it up, and we used it at IBM for a number of years. So I think that one of the first principles with design thinking is to get the right minds in the room. And you're absolutely correct. It takes the business minds, it takes the data scientist mind, it takes the technical mind, and design thinking brings all those minds together. And the first thing that you think about is, what is that problem statement, right? And that can be as simple as a business problem, a technical problem, data siloed, our e-commerce system can't talk to our brick and mortar system, whatever it may be. But you start with that problem statement and you start constructing it in a very simple manner. And then from there you ideate on it and get into various different exercise to think about the user perspective. Maybe that user is the consumer and their user experience on things like returning an item into a store. Maybe they bought it on an e-commerce site and they want to return it into a store. So that's the first step. And I'll talk a little bit more about like the technology as we go, and some of the advancements with AI tech, as you mentioned, things like Lovable. But Tatiana, certainly I think, as we think about like getting the right people in the room, what are your thoughts on just, getting the different groups from either from a retail standpoint or a business standpoint into the room and sort of ideating on those problem statements?
I absolutely love this conversation, because we've been talking so much, and we talked in prior sessions about how do you actually get started, right? Because there's everyone we're not the only one saying, hey, you need to get going, you need to get started, you need to do something about this now. You need to start iterating. And this is one of the very best ways to get started, because you get people in the room and there's, everything, I agree with everything both of you said, but beyond that, the very real outcomes that you get from these sessions that are, the very business outcomes and things that you can use and get the results. There's another consequence of implementing something like this, which is really important, or two of them actually. One is really starting to bring your team and getting them to put their hands on it,
yep.
Right? Proverbially. it's getting them out there, getting them to put their hands on it, getting them to participate in this process, how to think about this, how to frame, because there's a chance that the what you picked up as the first or the most important issue maybe may not be the most important issue, but in this sense it's still incredibly helpful because you're going to start thinking in a different way, and you're going to start framing your problems in a different way. And the second one is, which is super important to me, is that we talk a lot about this, and the people that have been reading about it talk a lot about it. But I will tell you that even as I knew about LangChain, for example, and I knew what it could do, it wasn't until I really got into it and started digging, last year, that I really truly understood what it could do for me as a retail leader, And that is, I think that's really, truly the goal of this conversation, is your teams and your leaders and will learn what it can do in real time, in real life, which there's no article, there's no course, there's no training that can teach them in the same way that they can imprint that knowledge into the way they work as a workshop or something like what Steve just described.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think to put a cherry on it, right, you can't unsee it. Once you experience the magic and once you actually build something, it's over, right? You go from, the folks that are, paralysis by over-analysis, where's the, signal versus the hype and all these types, we could do this, we could do that, to all of a sudden you just built something that meaningfully impacts a workflow and a business outcome. And then you just look for like, what's next? So I think this is great. I like this lightweight, short piece of content. I can't wait to hear people's feedback on this one, because at the end of the day, like, hey, hackathons are hackathons. They've been around for a long time. Design thinking is battle tested and bulletproof, to Steve's point. And I love the idea of bringing in business people that aren't technical, pairing them up with some data science and some technical geniuses, and getting after it. So thank you guys. Yes, Joe, go ahead, Steve.
One thing
please.
I'll add is that towards the end of design thinking, as you get through it, you actually there's an exercise that is around creating prototypes, and they call them paper prototypes. Back in the day it was paper prototypes. You basically get the group to just write it out and write it down on paper. Today we don't even need to do that. Today we can just use Gen AI and tools like Lovable and Replit and create a prototype in the room. So as you go through all the exercises and all the ideation that happens, and the group comes to a consensus of like, okay, yes, this is the problem we want to solve, this is the hill we want to climb, and this is the user-centric approach we want to take, then you just plug it in and on the spot drop it into Lovable and create that prototype right there. So these advancements in technology that have come in the last 6 months, even with LangChain, with Lovable, can allow us to go into the room, connect data from different sources right there in the room, create that prototype, and actually have a business user see it in action. And there, you're one step away from an MVP. So the amount of time that it takes to go through those sessions, we used to do design thinking in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now we can do it in a day, 2 days. And part of that shows an actual physical prototype at the end, a working prototype at the end. So it's amazing, the advancements in tech, and it also allows us to, progress faster, quicker throughout the whole design thinking process. So.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now, 100%. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Can't wait to get the reactions on this one, because this is the way forward, I think. Thank you, Tati. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.